I'm Dr. Barbara Roberts, and today I'm the face of America. When I was applying to medical school in the early 1960s, there was a quota actually for women, and no medical school class had more than 10% women. And I had interviewers ask me questions like, why should we give you a place in a class when you'll probably just get married and have children and drop out and never practice? My name is Dr. Barbara Roberts. I was the first female to practice adult cardiology in the state of Rhode Island when I moved there in 1977. I'm a published author, and I was also a long-term pro-choice and anti-Vietnam War activist. I was born in Greenwich Village, New York, and when I was 6, my parents moved to what was then called the country, but then subsequently was called the suburbs of Rockland County. I was raised as the oldest of 10 children in a devout Catholic family. My parents were part of the Catholic workers movement. So not only was I raised as a devout Catholic, I was raised as a leftist, anti-racist activist from a very young age. I became a doctor because I couldn't become a priest. My father worshipped priests and doctors, and I knew I didn't have a prayer of becoming a Catholic priest, so I became a doctor. Being raised a devout Catholic, I was taught that it was very important to perform the cardinal works of mercy, one of which was to visit the sick, and also to treat everyone that I came across as if he or she were Christ in disguise. So I think my religion had a profound influence on my desire to become a doctor and the kind of doctor I became, even though I left the Catholic Church as a very young woman. I became radicalized while I was a resident at Yale New Haven Hospital. I first became active in the pro-choice movement because of the things I had seen as a medical student and resident in the days before Roe versus Wade legalized abortion. I saw women coming into emergency rooms with perforated uteruses, even partially disemboweled by back alley abortionists. I saw a woman die because she was denied what would have been a life-saving abortion, and these experiences radicalized me. So I first became active in the pro-choice movement, and through women I met who were active in both movements, I started to be invited to speak at anti-war demonstrations. In fact, I spoke in front of some huge demonstrations of 100,000 people, including the last mass anti-Vietnam War demonstration, which was held on the grounds of the Washington Monument on the day of Nixon's inauguration in 1973. I think that the Democratic Party is probably not doing enough to ensure women's reproductive rights, but I feel strongly that women have to mobilize in their masses and do everything in our power to protect the rights we were granted in Roe versus Wade, whether that means massive peaceful demonstrations, whether that means running for office, whether it means voting and getting others to vote. I don't follow politics very closely anymore because I'm so disgusted with the way our country is going, and I'd like to feel that this spate of anti-abortion legislation is just the last gasp of a vicious, misogynistic, patriarchal society that has oppressed women and men, but mainly women, for thousands of years. I chose to write a book about my life, first of all, because I think my life story is entertaining and interesting. And I think I also had a very unique perspective on the mafia. The book is called The Doctor Broad, A Mafia Love Story. And it concentrates on the years when I took care of the head of the New England Mafia, Raymond L.S. Patriarca. And it was my testimony that he was too sick to stand trial, which kept him from going to trial and almost certainly to prison for the last 3.5 years of his life.